What's up YouTube, this is No More Off For, reviewer of guns, gears, outdoors, hunting, and basically anything that has to do with self-sufficiency skills and strategies, things of that nature. This video I'm reviewing Blackhawk's Hydrastorm Strike Cyclone pouch. It is a, let's call it a medium-sized pouch, really designed for, like, at most a 3-day system. Assault pack, if you want to call it that. Scout pack is another term you may want to use. Before I get into any of the specs, one thing I want to say is that this pack has held up well for me, and I'm very pleased with it. It was a little on the pricier end of packs. You can get a lot larger packs for the price that I paid for this. But this pack has performed particularly well for me in situations where I've used it really beyond what its design, scope design was. And I've talked on this before in some of my other reviews. I really get upset when people get angry at something when they push it beyond its intended design, and I've done that with this pouch. I've put it through hell and back on some of my trips in West Virginia, where we park and we walk 10 miles in the Monongahela National Forest, set up a camp, and we hunt from that camp. So this pack has done a lot for me, and I'll annotate some pics over that of some of those trips, but it does have its limitations where it starts to get heavy to carry. If you try to load this up with too much, it will become too cumbersome. But I've made it work in situations where I didn't have a pack big enough, and this was the only thing available to me before I'd actually bought a bailout bag size pack. And speaking of that, I would say that this probably isn't one. I would say that if you're looking for a bailout bag, you're looking for something a little bit bigger than this. This is a 32-liter pouch, or pack, I don't know why I keep saying that. But because of the different modular attachment points for MOLLE compatible pouches, you can really outfit this thing with a lot of different options, as I've done here. On the top I have a Canteen pouch. I always like to have an option other than my hydration bladder, because I can put dirty water in this and still drink from the hydration pouch and then purify that before I drink it. Extra utility pouch here, as well as one here. Shotgun pouch on top of that. Got my med pack on that side. Got various different things in here. Gauze, sterile strips, things of that nature, some stuff. Scissors, anti-hemorrhaging units. I've got quick clot in there, things like that. Spiders, also in there. Modular webbing. I've got my RTAC on the side. Carry the K-bar just on me. But let's show you what I got in here. This one I had the tarp in, which is right now just protecting the camera from getting rained on. But in this pouch, I've got a heat sheet, just reflective material that reflects your heat back to you. Some paracord, and some of my fire starting tools, things of that nature. I like to keep those zip-locked up. Various stuff in there, magnesium strips, light my fire, just the fire steel, waterproof matches, things like that. Always go into the woods with those, and my multi-tools in there as well. Again, showed you the Canteen. It's a pretty decent sized Canteen, also by Blackhawk. It's an Nalgene, works pretty well for me. This I already had taken out of the pack because I was thinking about cooking before I did this, but I'm going to actually show you that too. This is my Gsi Pinnacle Duelist Kit, and right now I've made some slight modifications to it to hold some extra gear, and by that I mean I've taken out the two individual cans that come in here. I'm going to have to do a review on this soon, but I've got my MSR pocket rocket. Just a grip for removing the pot. Oh, I've got my Sea to Summit knife, fork, and spoon, and then just a little Gigapower mini propane for the pocket rocket. And I'm going to cook something here for you in a minute. Well, let's not open the main compartment yet here. This compartment, I usually put food, extra medical supplies, or anything like that. Right now, it's just food. I'm only going to be out here for a couple hours today, but I always bring extra food, just in case you get stuck a little bit longer than you think you're going to. Extra Ziploc, extra food. This pack, or this pouch of the pack, is almost like the admin pouch. I'm not really going to be able to show you. Well, I'll just pull the camera down here. If you can see in there, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it's got holders for pens, paper, and things like that. So, it gives you the option if you need it. That's really all I had in there. That one you really can stretch out and you can fit a lot more than I did, but in this situation I didn't have much in there. This one is usually where I keep my electronics. My DeLorme goes in there, but right now it's around my neck, so it's got some little zippered compartments. Got my stream light, Argo headlamp, my flashlight in case I get stuck out here overnight, which I hope not. It's raining right now, but it was snowing this morning, and it's probably going to again tonight. And main compartment, I've got my electronics kit. I brought gloves, as I said, it was snowing earlier this morning. And I've got some extra clothing, gloves, socks, extra layer of fleece in my North Face. Another small gear container there. And just some extra tools. All that stuff. I got a notepad in here too, just for things I see. I like to keep notes, and also if I think of reviews or something I want to do, I like to write them down. But all that stuff I had in my pack, and this probably weighs about 30 pounds with all that gear. Maybe a little. Let's say 25. It's not that heavy. Design scope of this pack, I would say probably about let's say 35 to 40 pounds at most before it starts to get too cumbersome, because this pack does not go very high up and down wise. It goes back that way. It really messes with your center of gravity, and it can make it more difficult to carry if you put the pack any heavier than about 40 pounds, which I have. As I said, down in the trips in West Virginia, pack was probably in the 50-pound range. And then just with what I had inside, and I also had a sleeping bag connected on top, or at the bottom I should say, a fishing rod, and a couple other things that were connected to the outside that probably added a few other pounds. So I did it. It can be done, but if you're carrying that much gear, you should probably be looking for a different pack. That being said, this still did handle it, and I was able to make it through. Just to show you, the hydration bladder goes in there, so it is separate from the rest of the compartments. So if you're worried about, sharp edges or things like that, like this, cutting the bladder, you don't have to, because they're separate. The main pack is separate from the hydration bladder. So I just wanted to do one last final part here, go a little bit more in detail on some of the specs. In my excitedness to be out in the woods finally for a day, not hunting yesterday, kind of got carried away and talked a little bit too much, didn't do as much specs as I would have liked to. Just wanted to show you also the bladder itself. This is what comes with the pack. It's a microband hydration bladder. It is 100 ounces. I do like that they have listed on the bladder itself how much water you have left, or when you're filling it up, just so you know. One thing I was kind of disappointed with, this does not come with one of the bladder caps for the bite me valve or an attachment point. I will have to, and I still haven't, I've been meaning to do it. I've just been drinking with a little bit of mud in my mouth. I have not got one of those yet, but I will have to do that in the future. As far as the pack, just some general things I wanted to emphasize again. It does have over 100 different MOLLE attachment points across the pack. Just some other highlights here. It has the anodized D-ring loops on the shoulder straps, padded shoulder straps. It has quick cinch adjustment straps on the side so you can tighten the pack. So again, it's not as far deep on your back, which helps with you know, maintaining a good center of gravity. It does have the shoulder strap. If I can find it here, right there. This is adjustable as well. It's kind of messy from when I just took it off yesterday. The drag handle, again, super high quality drag handle. Definitely could pull this if you had to with somebody still attached to it. Metal grommets for draining. Whoop. Down at the bottom you can see those, and I also made sure to get those on all of the pouches that I added to the pack. Again, it is 32 liters, twin main compartments being this compartment here, and it does have the reinforced waist belt. This is something that's comfortable. On a lot of the smaller sized packs, you will find that the waist belts are, they kind of skimp there, and Blackhawk did not with this one. They did put MOLLE on it here, but I probably wouldn't put anything against my waist with a pack like this. Just personal preference. Dimensions overall of the main compartment, which is this one here, those dimensions are, if I remember correctly, 19 in length by 11 width, and then 5.5 by, it's 5.5 deep. The front top, which is this one, is 9.5 by 7 by 3 deep, and then this compartment here, front lower, is 11 by 11.5 by 3.5 deep. I'm almost positive on that. So guys, that's it for Blackhawk's Hydrastorm Cyclone pouch. Definitely a good pack. I would recommend it if you're looking for a medium-sized, heavy-duty pack that's going to last you a long time and definitely last a lot of miles. Anything you can dish out, this pack can take. Just doing a little last over for you guys to take a look at some of the intricacies of the pack. But that's all I have. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them on YouTube or on my blog, nomooropfor.blogspot.com. Do apologize, we haven't had as many videos recently as I would have liked to have gotten out. With hunting going on, I've had a lot of time in the woods, but not a lot of time to review. So once I get those hunting videos up and posted, I promise there will be an influx of gear and gun review videos. I've got a lot of stuff this year that I've just finally been able to get out and use, some for the first time, some just starting to get reviews ready for those, but promise those are coming soon. In the meantime, stay safe guys. This is No More Op 4. I'm out.